Hi, my name's Leo and I'm a boat builder and a sailor. Back in 2017 I bought a very old and quite famous wooden sailing yacht for the price of $1, and since then I've been rebuilding that boat from the keel up with the help of a lot of amazing people. Now it feels like there's 1,000 different things going on right now, so I'm going to go around the boat and show some of the work in progress and some completed jobs, some really interesting woodwork going on, some systems going in, the exhaust system for example, and really excitingly the construction of the deck houses, the deck furniture, deck hatches has begun and is going really well. Before that though, we're going to check out some brackets that George has been making that are going to hold part of the exhaust system inside the engine room.
So we are currently in the engine room where I've been doing a lot of work recently. I made this bracket to hold the muffler as well as the sole boards in here. We needed a way to quickly be able to access the drivetrain parts that run directly underneath this sole board, so I made this central piece able to quickly be pulled out and give us access to the whole system underneath here in the stuffing box.
So for Tally-Ho's exhaust system, I've been working for a while now with a company called Halyard. They make and design custom exhaust systems, and they got in touch quite early on to offer to supply Tally-Ho's, and I jumped at the offer because these guys put some of the best quality systems in some of the highest end yachts in the world. Now they're based in the UK, but they send their exhaust systems all around the world, and we designed a system together, or rather they designed it and made it and sent it out here. They also sent us quite a lot of really top quality hose, some of the nicest hose clamps any of us have ever seen, a custom 180 bracket for the loop that goes up inside the transom to prevent water from coming back through the system from the ocean, and a temperature alarm. So Joe and I are both really pleased with all this equipment. I'm really grateful to Halyard for supplying it, and I do highly recommend them. They were just a joy to work with. So I'm looking forward to getting this in the boat. The transom fitting, the actual outlet, we don't have ready yet because that's going to be bronze and it has to be custom, but all of this stuff is ready to go in.
I drilled my pilot hole in with the drill bit, but then I inverted the drill bit so that as I come in and out, I'm not making my pilot hole sloppier and sloppier.
Joe's weird cookie. Not Joe is a weird cookie. This is the weird cookie Joe made.
This is pretty cool. Yeah, a little shout out to Halyard, the company that made the exhaust system. When I first came on the boat, Leo had already purchased and engineered all this, and I was a little skeptical that it was going to all fit because they're in the UK and Leo's here, and it fit really nicely. We kind of hit all the nice design specs. We have a nice amount of drop from the injection point down to the water lift, gooseneck and the lazarette that gets the outflow up high so that water can't come back in, and yeah, very happy with it.
Nice.
Hey everyone, it's Zeal here. I'm back after a several-month hiatus of being away from the project, working up in Alaska and working on personal projects, but now I'm back down here in the yard. I am about to start on caulking the stanchions. It's necessary for that to happen so that the bulwarks can be installed, because the outboardmost seam of the stanchions are captured by the bulwark. So those need to be caulked with cotton, and they're going to get paid with teak deck systems, which is a silicon rubber caulking that is specially designed for teak.
Decking to have the exact offset for the decking height that I needed.
Oh yeah.
So throughout the time that we've been working on Tally Ho, we've always tried to keep the boat on her lines, and what that means is that she's plumb, she's level on the water lines and on the center line and so on. Those are imaginary lines. They refer to the drawings and the stations, but if the boat is plumb, then that fits in with our cabinetry. It makes it easier to work on the boat, and it makes all the drawings make sense in reference to the boat. Now, from time to time, we have to check that the boat is still on hairlines, and sometimes adjust it slightly by knocking blocks and jack stands around. And we check that by hanging a plumb bob from various centerline marks on the deck beams down to pencil marks on the keel. However, those marks keep getting obscured by paint and more bits of wood going on the boat, so it's time for us to actually put something permanent on a deck beam that will mark the centerline and that we can hang a plumb bob from, and that plumb bob will then show us with a mark on the keel timber if the boat is plumb from side to side. So George is going to make a small piece of bronze which we're going to screw to a deck beam, and he's going to make it out of one of the boat's original keel bolts.
having fun, big guy?
Oh my god, I love it.
Do you love it?
This is the best day of my life.
Don't get any paint on those floors.
Floors?
The bronze.
These guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube will.
Yes, sir.
YouTube will f***ing hang you for that. I've been hung.
Really?
Yeah.
So my next job is going to be working on the sole and the head. We're going to make it out of teak, and we're going to kind of encapsulate a stainless steel shower pan underneath the sole. We're going to try to like frame it so it goes all the way up against the planking, and then eventually we'll bed it down, and hopefully the whole thing is watertight.
So right now I am inside the head, which of course is the bathroom, and I'm standing on the sole that Nick put in. He did a great job on that. It's just dry fitted, it hasn't been bedded down yet, but eventually it will be sealed to the outside of the hull and bedded down really well so that any water from the shower, which doesn't go straight into the shower tray, will actually drain into it and not the bilge. And that's important because we don't mind salt water in the bilge, but we don't want fresh water in the bilge. Now originally we were going to have a cabinet over here facing forwards, and the loo, the toilet, was going to be outboard facing inboard, but we jigged it around, we changed it, we realised that it's much better use of space to have the toilet in this little cubby here facing aft, and a cabinet with a sink up here, and a big storage cabinet up here. And it's a lot nicer to have a toilet which faces fore and aft because it's just as easy to use on either tack. Whereas if you have your toilet outboard on a certain tack, you're kind of being thrown off it, which can be pretty awkward. The next job in here will be to bed down, fasten, plug and seal the teak sole boards, and then after that we'll be able to start actually building this cabinetry and the step and plumbing the toilet in and so on.
What's Richard doing on this fine Tuesday morning?
Oh, I'm trying to figure out the louvered doors.
The louvered doors.
Yeah, to get a good spacing.
What exactly is a louvered door opposed to any other door?
Well, it's got the slats in it that 45 degrees basically. Yeah.
You're gonna just. Looking good, huh?
Tricky, you don't want to cut the wrong side of these.
You gotta double check, huh?
Huh?
You gotta double check, huh?
You gotta triple check. And a tree. You know?
Yeah.
Alright, so what I've been working on for the past few days is prepping the keel for paint. That has entailed fairing the keel, so that's with a power planer, planing the surface where the keel timber meets the lead, so that's a nice smooth transition, as well as adding filler to any imperfections in the casting so that the faces are all nice and smooth. Also, all of the bolt holes, all those keel bolts, got filled with a hydraulic cement, as well as the bottom of the keel, those bottom edges, they got a ½ inch round over, and now that's sanded and faired down, so it's all smushed, flush and smooth, and has its first coat of primer on it.
So it's time to start working on Tally-Ho's hatches. Now this is the original forward companionway hatch, the smaller of the two companionway hatches that both grant access in and out of the boat. The third big deck hatch is a big skylight hatch, otherwise known as a butterfly hatch because it opens up like the wings of a butterfly. Now the skylight hatch was long gone when I got the boat, but these two companionway hatches I do have. They've done very well to last well over 100 years, but unfortunately they are in such bad condition now that it's not worth repairing them. One of the main problems is that they've been sanded so hard for so many years that a lot of the wood is just too thin to be functional as a strong hatch. There's also just a lot of patches and graving pieces and small parts that have been put in over the years that if we were to try and repair these, there'd just end up being so many small parts that the hatches wouldn't be strong, they wouldn't be watertight, they wouldn't last a long time. We'd end up replacing everything. So it makes a lot more sense just to build new hatches. So we're going to use these old ones as a reference and copy them very closely. The new ones will be made out of teak, the same material. We're going to start with the main companionway hatch because we need that in to make the cockpit combings. But before construction can start on that, we have to trim down the bulkheads that are inside that area of the boat that come up through that hatch opening.
Okay, my name is Pat Mahon, and I am a shipwright, a educator, and a marine surveyor in that order. I've been involved in wooden boats for about 50 years now, and I've known Leo now since almost the beginning of the project we met, and I was involved in another restoration project when he started, and just recently he asked me if I'd help out on Tally-Ho. So what I'm doing is I'm making the deck furniture. So we started with the main companionway. Clifton put the sills down and I built off of those sills. So I've been making parts in my tiny shop at home and bringing them here and assembling them. Soon we'll be taking that hatch off and finishing it on the bench so that it can be all sanded up, completely finished when it goes back on the boat.
Well, that's about all we've got time for right now. It's been really exciting to see the companionway hatch start to come together, as well as all the other great work that the whole team has been doing. Pretty soon we're going to be starting with the bulwark planks, the cockpit combings, and a lot of cabinetry in the galley and the head and so on. But for now, thanks a lot for watching, and a massive, massive thank you to everyone who has donated or otherwise supported this project. It does make a huge difference, and it means that we're able to keep doing this work, and I'm able to keep on making and editing these videos. So I really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.